Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the American Rescue Plan Act Highlight Series. I am Cameron McLaughlin, the Equity and Engagement Coordinator in the People and Belonging Department, and I am thrilled to have you join us today. The ARPA Highlight Series is here to shine a light on the amazing programs and resources made possible through Athens-Clarke County government's allocation and distribution of ARPA funds. Our goal is to educate and inform our community about the impactful work being done, the lives being changed, and the opportunities being created thanks to this vital funding. In this inaugural episode, we will be introducing you to the ARPA team, affectionately known as the ARPA Four. These dedicated individuals are at the heart of these initiatives, working tirelessly to ensure that our community benefits in the best possible ways. Sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired by the stories and insights we will be sharing with you. To kick things off, let's meet our guests. Can you please tell us your name, title, and department?
Hey everyone, I'm Corey Scott. I'm the Compliance Analyst with the Housing and Community Development Department.
And I'm Alejandra Calva. I'm the Community Impact Administrator, also with the Housing and Community Development Department.
And I'm Paige Sego. I'm the Data and Outcomes Coordinator in the Budget and Strategic Analysis Department.
Paige, for someone unfamiliar with ARPA, could you please explain how the program operates and its overarching mission in addressing community needs and challenges?
So ARPA was initially a response to the COVID pandemic, and the federal government decided to distribute funding to address some of the challenges caused by that pandemic to all the local governments, states, counties, cities nationwide. And then each of those jurisdictions kind of decided how they wanted to use that funding as long as they were staying within federal guidelines. So here in Athens-Clarke County, our mayor and commission designated 5 bucket areas that they really wanted to focus on. Those include homelessness, affordable housing, youth development and violence prevention, behavioral health, and then workforce development. And so basically, we, the ARPA team, have been working to distribute that funding, and the majority of that is distributed by contracting with local nonprofits who then address each of those needs. And we'll get more into sort of what projects those are as we continue on.
Can you all describe your role within this team and how it contributes to the goals and objectives of the program?
As a compliance analyst, I kind of see my role as a liaison between the agencies who are receiving our funding and, monitoring the federal guidelines that we have to follow for that funding. So quite a bit of work to make sure that those regulations are being followed. It's a lot of documents, a lot of reading. So to kind of take that burden off of the agencies, kind of become the expert on that. That way we can just inform them if something needs to be changed. That way they can just focus on the wonderful work they're doing in the community.
And as the administrator of the team, I really just work with all of you lovely people to make sure that all the work actually gets done. It's a lot of work that our team oversees, from creating the RFPs to contracting to making sure that the contracts are actually being completed, the work is being done, making sure that not only we're staying within those federal guidelines, but that we're also following what the mayor and commission have decided to use this funding for in response to what the community needs.
And as Data and Outcomes Coordinator, I work with the organizations who are doing the work after they have submitted their scope and sort of the idea for their work. I help them fine-tune their performance metrics and make sure that they're able to actually measure the outcome of their work. And then as we receive data from them about their programs, I make that data public and try to make sure that it's available to the community to see what work has been done.
And as the Equity Engagement Coordinator, a lot of my job is to assist the community on being educated about these resources that are available through ARPA funding and ensure that fairness is practiced when nonprofits or local organizations are interested in applying for ARPA funding as well. What are some specific projects or initiatives that you've been involved in throughout ARPA and how do they aim to benefit the community of Athens-Clarke County?
I think some of the most impactful work that we've done together so far are two strategic plans, one for affordable housing, or the Affordable Housing Investment Strategy, and the strategic plan to reduce and prevent homelessness. These strategic plans really took into account a lot of feedback that we received from local nonprofit leaders, stakeholders, individuals and families who are dealing with those issues on a personal daily basis. And not only do these plans kind of outline those key barriers, challenges that our community members face, they also outline some really doable and reachable activities and proposals to address these issues. So not only are we using those plans to define how ARPA funding is used within those buckets, affordable housing and homelessness, but they're also setting up a path for future funding, for future opportunities that may come forward. In fact, the Homeless Coalition, for example, they've sort of integrated the strategic plan into their mission moving forward and the way they're sort of reorganizing themselves to better serve our community.
Corey, how do you ensure that ARPA's resources are used effectively and that the program addresses the priorities of the community?
So I think part of my role is being first reviewer on contracts and making sure that when agencies submit their monthly and quarterly reports, that those are following guidelines, that the money is being spent efficiently, and the money is being spent on what was initially agreed upon in the contract based on what that funding was designated for. So I think there's just it's a lot of reporting and a lot of monitoring of spending down funds and various things like that. And so if anything needs to be tweaked, just communicating with the agency and making sure everybody's on track.
Reflecting on ARPA's impact this far, what do you all believe has been the most significant contribution or change that the program has brought to Athens-Clarke County?
So I would say it's really hard to pick one bucket or one project because I think they are all very intertwined, and I think that's part of the strength of how we're using this ARPA funding is that we're simultaneously addressing a lot of pervasive issues in Athens-Clarke County, and hopefully, along the way, benefiting a lot of different households and people who, may struggle with housing or may struggle with behavioral health, and just trying to basically provide services in all those areas at the same time.
And I think another way we've really been able to leverage this funding is that in everything we do, this team, right, we provide a lot of technical assistance to our agencies, including from when they're very first starting to create their application for funding, as they're going through the contract period, et cetera. So I think we've also helped create and improve their own capacity as an organization. I think they better understand now what perhaps the difference is between an output and an outcome when evaluating their programs, how to layer different funding sources and so on, how to think strategically about what do you do once this federal funding runs out in 2026, really thinking sustainably about their program. So I'm pretty proud of that work that we've done as a team, and I think that's an impact that's going to continue beyond just the funding of the specific programs that we're supporting right now.
Before we wrap up, do you all have any last words or thoughts you'd like to share with our listeners?
I did want to mention that if anybody is interested in the ARPA funding, as you probably are if you're listening to this, we do have a lot more resources available on our website. You can go to accgov.com/ARPA. There you can read a little bit of blurb about each program, and you can also click through to the ARPA Data Hub where you can see dashboards presenting the data from all the programs and see what funding is remaining to be spent. So take some time to check it out.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the ARPA Highlight Series. Today we've explored what ARPA is, met the dedicated people driving its impactful work, and discussed how we ensure fairness in these programs and resources. A special thanks to the ARPA team for their dedication and hard work in making these programs a reality, and for their commitment to improving our community. Stay tuned for more episodes where we'll continue to explore the transformative ARPA projects and resources benefiting Athens-Clarke County. Until then, take care and stay informed.